I am Umaru Sandamadu. My guest is a member of the Manifesto Committee and also CEO of the GIPC, Yofi Grant. Tell us about this Leadership of Service Manifesto, which has become a covenant you're going to present to Ghanaians ahead of election 2020.
Okay. I'll start with a little history that we have a president who has spent most of his life pursuing certain objectives. And I met him many, many years ago, a couple of decades ago. And Are
you related? Because he's been accused of running a family and friends government.
All of us in Ghana are related.
Okay, some way, somehow.
Somehow.
Are you blood related to him?
Well, I'm not sure that if you go to ancestry.com and
you'll not find it.
You find anything with
him. Okay, that's fine. Proceed.
Yes, but he had, and I saw that he had this dream. And his whole dream was that this country can be much better and be like the Singapore or the Switzerland of Africa. And he just couldn't understand why it wasn't done or couldn't be done. And so this conversation of radically transforming Ghana has been at the top of his head. And I remember from the Manifesto of 2008 through to the Manifesto of 2012 through to 2016, you find a certain common thread that radiates through. But for him, it wasn't just development, because he kept saying that development must impact the people positively, not one, but all. And so for him, and usually the people I have an investment banking background, we're usually very hard about certain facts and things. But he says, well, you can do whatever you want. For him, if it doesn't affect everybody, the smallest child to the oldest person, then you haven't done enough.
Forgive me to ask this. Yeah. Is he a socialist? This kind of mindset is mostly the socialist kind of thing, isn't it? You find that
with socialists. Let's say he has a human heart. Clearly, I mean, he's not new to business. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you probably don't know that he was instrumental in bringing the forebears of MTN into this country and DHL and all that. And he set up his own law chambers as a business. So he understands business, from the formation to the running and all that. So he understands it. But he also has this, you see this insatiable desire to make things work for the ordinary person, whoever that may be. So that is always there. And so you can give him all the technical things that you can. He'll tell you, how does it work for the man on the street, or the man in his village, or the man in the suit in the office. He never leaves out the whole, value chain of humanity in it. So that for me was a very laudable, idea for anybody to have. And so in 2016, I mean, the whole idea, and I remember, if you remember quite right, that there was a time where we had a manifesto that had transformation as its key focus, and it was to do with people, etc., etc. We woke up one day for some other people to say that, well, they are the ones who did it. And needless to say,
and there was a whole debate over the motto.
Needless to say, when they were given the opportunity, they did the opposite. So I'm sure they didn't really understand what that meant. But in 2016, we had a broad plan. And we said, okay, how is the best way to prosecute this whole transformation agenda? And it became very clear that, first of all, you have to, it's like when you want to build a house in the forest, you have to clear the land. When you clear the land, then you dig a foundation, you put the foundation there. That is going to be what the house is going to be built on. So if you don't clear the land and you don't do that foundation, trust me, your house won't be well built. So he says, well, first of all, let's tackle the issues as we saw them to make sure that we eliminate some of the nuances and some of the difficulties the economy has. So by 2016, it was very clear that our economy was in trouble, to the extent that we have to run back to the IMF, for some policy credibility. We needed the IMF to give us policy credibility before we could go out to borrow and stuff like that. So, he said, how is that possible? A country that has so much resources, has smart people, why should we allow the economy to go so low that now we need somebody to come from somewhere to tell us how to do it? So that is the foundations of building that whole economic transformation, that, okay, so let's clean up stuff. Let's put the economy in a space where we can see that it's stable. Because on that stability, then we can grow. Because if we don't have stability, we can hardly grow. And if we don't grow, we can hardly satisfy the people. The people can't consistently be hustling on the back of stability. You need to grow the economy. You need to create opportunity for people. You need to also do other interventions that will make the country a great country to live in. So that is how we started. And so for us, we said, what are the critical things that you need to attack to make this story I'm telling work? Create an opportunity for jobs and growth.
So hence you titled your manifesto An Agenda for Jobs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, an agenda for jobs means that you have to create platforms that can create jobs. And secondly,
have you succeeded in creating the jobs after 4 years, for which reason your manifesto title now changes from Agenda for Jobs to leadership,
and transforming
Ghana for all.
For all, as I have here. Yes, we have to a great extent, but it's not enough. It's not enough.
How many jobs is enough jobs?
There's never enough jobs.
There isn't.
You have to keep going. Even the so-called mighty United States of America is still grappling with jobs. China has moved 600 million people out of poverty by creating opportunity and jobs.
You created fleeting jobs, jobs that will last 3 years and expire.
Why?
I'm talking about NAPCO.
NAPCO was supposed to set a foundation for helping young people transition from no job into a job. I don't see how that can ever be a bad idea.
Yeah, but if you don't create...
It's like a footballer. You can't get up one day from your house and quickly jump on the pitch and say, I'm playing.
Yes.
You have to train.
Yes.
You have to exercise. You have to build yourself.
Yeah, but if you train them for 3 years and you pay them allowances, there should be an exit plan. So what jobs are there at the open end of the plan?
The exit plan is creating, and if you listen very carefully, you realize, as I kept saying, that you have to create opportunity for job creation. So you must have policies that will transform what you have into one of job creation.
Right. For someone who was recruited onto NAPCO in 2017 or 2018, when their contract terminates in 2019 or 2020, practically, what job are they going to do? That's what I'm asking.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
You were asking me a question about one district, one factory, and I said there are 170 factories. There are about over 50, I think 70 something that are completed and working. There were factories that were not there before. They've created jobs. The more you create, the more businesses, and I said at the beginning that the more businesses you create, the more opportunity for jobs. So the policies that we do are there to also create opportunity for jobs. You're not going to get it all in one day. Like I said, it's like building a house.
Have we created all the opportunities for
jobs? No, you can never do that. You have to consistently build on.
Yeah, but how many opportunities have we created for jobs? So the 1D1F, so first of all, the 1D, we have to state that you haven't built factories from scratch entirely. There are some you've just provided technical support to, and you've listed them under 1D1F. These factories would have already been recruiting.
Hang on, that is where you are wrong.
Okay.
I keep telling you, 1D1F is a policy.
Good.
So even if there was a factory that was defunct and wasn't working, it may be needless to go and build another factory next to it. You will prop it up.
Good.
And create opportunity for jobs. If you don't do that, that factory is going to sit down like a chair.
My point is still here, that factory had workers. These workers will
But the workers were not there. The factories were not working. They were defunct.
Yeah, but you can't say you are creating a new job for an old factory that has already been existing.
Really?
Yeah.
So if there's a factory that is empty, there's nobody working there, and you come and say, I'm going to put money in, I'm going to employ you. Isn't that a new job?
So that's a new factory, new job. But for factories that are already existing and running, you have just provided them with technical support.
But that technical support is going to expand the factory so more people can be employed.
So that's 1D1F.
Which
other areas have you created?
Planting for food and jobs. Over 1 million smallholder farmers have been assisted with extension services. Young people from university, over 500,000 of them, have been employed to do extension services in the field.
Really?
Yes.
I thought 1D1
NAPCO is one.
Planting for food and jobs is
NYA is creating opportunity. We are building Stadia. We are building youth resource centers. We are going to build more factories, and more factories will be built. We are going to ensure that we have more investment, because the more investment comes in, the more businesses can be created.
Is it so is it that we have cured the unemployment situation?
No, we haven't, but we are on the track to curing it.
How soon and when would we cure it?
Well, to the extent that we are able to prosecute and you vote NPP back into power, you cure it even faster than ever.
The question would be asked that we gave you 4 years. Why do you have to ask us for another 4 years?
That is the presumption that you think you can solve all the country's problems in 4 years.
What are the key problems you've solved in 4 years, aside free SHS?
Well,
which is
we've cleaned
obvious
up the economy. Do you want me to list them for you, the things that we have to do? I can easily do that for you.
You've cleaned up the economy, which has also led to troubles because people have their monies locked up. People have lost their jobs. So
you know what?
That's a cleanup that is positive on the
If
cleaning
that
side, but
hadn't been,
negative on
if
the...
that hadn't been done, more people would have lost their money. Over 4 million depositors would have lost all they had.
They still
and
have-
a lot more would have lost their jobs.
They've still lost it
Sometimes,
anyway. They've still lost it anyway.
No, 4 million 4 million account holders. No, 4 million account holders didn't lose their accounts.
But they don't have their money. That's what matters.
But no, there are some who still have their money in their banks.
Yeah, but they haven't
But
seen-
tell me, let me ask you a question.
There's a
Umaru.
young man- there's a
Let me
young
ask
man
you a
from
question. Let me
Asin
ask you a
who-
question
yes.
because you're a bit of a moralist. So, if you had a crooked institution that obviously is not playing by the rules and the law, running some business, are you saying that it should be allowed to run because it employed people? Or
No.
because people put money into it?
No.
What's your simple answer?
No.
So you've answered your question.
Good. So let me ask another question. When you provide the alternative, it should be better. There's a young man in Asinfosu who wanted to marry. He was investing or saving his money with one of these institutions, wanting to get married. You came and said you're coming to do cleanup. Fine. You've cleaned up, but he still cannot have his money, so he cannot marry.
Yes,
Clearly
because
that hasn't worked for him.
Because first of all, some of these banks that were even funded by Bank of Ghana took that money and invested in their own companies, depositors' monies.
Yeah, but
and if those companies run at a loss, then your deposits are gone. They are gone. Somebody has to bring it back. Government again had to find 21 billion cedis to try and prop up. Now, we're not saying that we are not paying anybody, but it will take a while.
But it's taking forever. This while is taking forever.
Umaru,
It's such a laborious
Umaru,
exercise.
I'm surprised you say it takes forever to resuscitate a dead horse. You probably might flog it 10 times, don't wake up. So you have to restructure it.
Okay.
Here's a situation where these institutions were heading the economy, not just the financial sector, the economy down the drain. On an economy where we had borrowed over the hilt, an economy where interest rates were way above anything that can sustain any business in the upper 30s, an economy where inflation was high, an economy where we had a major deficit, and somebody comes and says, hang on, slow down, guys. If we go at this rate at which we are going, in 2-3 years, we won't have a country.
In the next 4 years.
So let's solve that problem first.
In the next 4 years, if you're given another chance, based on the manifesto you presented to Ghanaians, what are the things we should be looking out for?
I think we should be looking for...
what do you think will be happening?
We should be looking for a certain transformation. We are creating more opportunity for growth in jobs. Definitely. Without a doubt. And in everywhere you go, you see infrastructure. Infrastructure is one of our core are you sure?
Deliverables. If you have you delivered already, or you are yet to deliver?
We are delivering. So have we delivered?
So why have you rejected John Mahama's call for a debate on infrastructure?
Oh, is it a debate that will bring a road?
No, the debate will show Ghanaians that this man is better at bringing the roads.
Oh, but he had a chance to do it.
Yeah,
what happened?
And he said he did. And he
did?
He said he should come and show yours.
Oh, really?
He has actually just recently
did
launched a website.
Did you listen to Baumia's lecture?
Yes, I did.
And you didn't see any comparison?
I'm waiting.
Did you or did you not?
John Mahama is
I expect you to have seen that before you come and ask me that question.
John Mahama
because then it means that you are neglecting on your own.
I have seen, but I have seen what Baumia presented.
But and you doubt it?
Do you
doubt it?
Let's turn the interview around. It's a face-to-face interview, but I'm supposed to be asking the question. You shouldn't be asking me.
Yeah, but I want realism.
No.
Not just political talk. I want realism.
The realism is that people would see the Kwame Nkrumah interchange. You have argued that you have done for one. His handlers, in John Mahama's handlers, have argued that what we have at Kwame Nkrumah Circle is bigger. You are CEO of
is it bigger than what you have at the end of the motorway?
Yes, it is.
In what sense?
In terms of length and depth and everything.
It's bigger?
Yes, it's bigger.
So that means it must have cost more than 4 of them put together.
They have given the explanations, and I'm sure it's still out there, the jury. They have talked about, you are the CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotions. You want people to fly into Ghana to come and invest here. They use the Kotoka International Airport. The Terminal 3 was his legacy. So he's asking you to also show him legacies that you have.
How long did it take the NDC to do that?
How long?
They had 8 years. They had 8 years. And yet, if I were to go into the compendium of what we've done in 3.5 years, you probably will be, as I say, flabberwimsed.
Really?
Because you ask the roads that have been put there, the railway that has been resuscitated, the 4 interchanges that we've done and we are still doing. including the one that would be probably the first 4-lane interchange in Ghana, Pokwasi. And you say you don't see these things. You are comparing to just one circle interchange, and you clap for yourself. But I did very well. Absolutely not.
No, but
we are doing roads, we are doing railways, and we are even announcing more things to do.
But he has also presented a list of things that he has done, a compendium, as you call them.
So you want to do a comparison?
Yeah, I'm just asking if you want to do that.
Well, you ask
because he's asking you for the debate.
But it's not a debate that will show that there's a road here or not.
No, the debate
who use it who know that there's a road here or not. We have told you what you've done. You can do a fact check and check from ours. They brought a green book that had photographs of things that had not been done and claimed they had been done.
There's a theory in communications that says give it to them and let them know that you gave it to them. If you have really
our evidence is that they're on the ground. They do exist. You can check. The stadia we are talking about, I can show you photographs if you want. The roads we are talking about, I can show you photographs of the roads.